Zajur, everybody.
Austin Zajur, everybody. Austin, I don't have to show my ass or anything, do I? Or will that?
Just the left cheek.
My left cheek is awesome, by the way.
I bet you have a tattoo.
On the cheek? Not yet. I'll go get one tonight. Where's the nearest tattoo parlor? We'll do it. We got a lot of people. Not a lot of time. There's an audience mic here, audience mic there. Very rare chance to ask these guys a question. But Austin, I got to start off with you. Were you even born when the first Clerks came out? 1994.
1 year after, I was born in 95.
Wow.
I know!
We should have asked them the first questions because they're going to die soon.
The only thing worse than that announcement would have been, enter Dan T, a hideous f***ing chud of a man. What the fuck?
Well, maybe Dan T's not you.
Ding! Austin, do you remember the day Kevin approached you?
What is it,
Hey,
the Austin show? What the fuck?
I wasn't even born.
All right, let's...
Ming's just trying to f***ing suck up to that Gen Z f***ing millennial.
It's like, wait for TikTok.
Austin's dating Kevin's daughter. I'm only talking to him.
By the way, if you're in here, you have kids, you think this is kind of a PG kind of thing, you're in the wrong f***ing room.
I think we should accept that already.
I'm going to tell you right now, one of you f***s are going to bring up a donkey show, someone's going to talk about snowballing, and next thing you know, it's a long f***ing back from over in Alabama.
You said donkey show and that kid dressed up like Joe Dirt just raised his hand.
Listen, if some young kid dresses as Joe Dirt, nothing we're going to say is going to get around this. That kid's got more game than we even have. He can teach us. He's like, snowballing, that's so 1993. Let me tell you about backdoor double fists. We're like, whoa!
I love that he's cosplaying as a jizz mopper. Yeah, Dad, have fun explaining that.
I think I saw 3 running out going, I gotta go to church!
We're in church. This is a church. You're in church.
Now, those 3 ran out.
This is a youth group
I
center.
realized this was the Ming panel.
There is a sign up there that says children's art and books.
I never thought I would be burned to death in a church. I was struck by God in lightning. My Irish Catholic mother would be proud.
Well done, Brian. So Austin.
Yeah, so back to us, man. What's up?
Do you remember when Kevin was like, hey, I got Clerks 3 coming up, I want you to be in it? Were you sitting in his massive living room on the 3rd floor of his house, and did he sit you down? I was like, I got something very serious to ask you.
No.
Okay.
I was in Dallas, Texas, with my girlfriend Harley Gwinsmith. She was doing a show, and I was very extremely into crypto.
He was massaging Kevin. Go ahead, finish the story.
And I was like, Kevin, it'd be really cool if you added like some crypto stuff in a movie, like you did the first one or whatever. And then he was like, okay, cool, yeah. And then, sorry, if you hate that's in the movie.
No, not at all.
But then, basically, he said I wrote you a part. And then I immediately had to watch Clerks 1 and 2 before I could read the script.
Wait, you were dating his daughter, you hadn't seen any Kevin movies?
The only one I had ever seen was Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Okay.
And it may or may not have been the first movie that I
Ever
touched
saw?
myself to.
That part where Jeff gets shit on his face.
Some of the first boobs I've seen.
Oh. I thought it was a double Dutch rudder that did it for you.
You said you were born in 1995, right?
Yeah.
You know there's porn on the internet, right?
Wait, you mine crypto? You don't know about internet porn?
You want to see Austin get excited? God, she frosted me like a cake.
Republic. We're in the Methodist church.
Yeah. But yeah, he said I wrote you this role, and then I watched the movies, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy, this is cool. And then, basically, we ended up shortly after that going to New Jersey because I guess he rewrote the script a fair amount. And then it turned into me having a bunch of lines and stuff. And I was like,
I can't wait till your father hears he wrote a script, kind of. That's gonna be a fun dinner.
And he kept putting me more and more into this movie, and then I was very fearful, like, oh no, people are not gonna be really into this new guy coming in, trying to hang out with, like, I mean, personally, if I grew up watching the Clerks movies, I would not want to see myself in.
You're born, don't you?
Exactly. Basically, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay. Alright, then you got to the movie.
Yeah.
Alright, man.
Oh no, then he made me silent blockchain.
Oh, right, so you took away all your lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Not everybody's. Who has not seen Clerks 3? Get out! All right, so now everybody.
You know, it's been long enough already, so spoilers are off the, doesn't matter if you
Whoa,
listen.
I have my own agenda. The only reason is I'm selling copies of the Blu-ray. At my table, $50 signed, so come on by, get your own copy now. It comes with a digital copy. All right.
Let's all just watch it right now.
Yes. Blockchain would like to understand why the two girls are into this Dan T character when the Randy character is much funnier.
Your question.
So I just feel like starting shit. Why don't you go ask Mouse?
We're really in a church, aren't we?
That's what makes it funny.
I wish I brought my little basket on a stick. Put your money in.
Yeah, really. You know Dante's opinion on it. So if Rosario was here, obviously he'd be like, oh, well, hello to you too. I feel bad for her because she's a well-respected, highly talented, triple-A fucking star, and I'm sure when she comes to these fans, kind of cons and stuff, they're like, hey, can you write You Never Go Asked About? Or can you write In the Heat of the Moment? Poor Marilyn Ghigliotti gets, hey, John had this something he took on the way through the parking lot.
You too?
I get away with it with hey, you just to be here today. That's an easy one. I'll have it on my grade. Randall has Jeff has tons of Randall lines that they can shout at. Poor Trevor has, oh, sorry, Jesus, which I have a funny feeling we'll all be saying tonight. And now if you see the new one, Scott Schiaffo's character, Julie's gum guy, will now have method, man. So it's fun stuff. So as far as ass to mouth, my opinion is no. You can panel the group and be like, Marilyn?
No.
Scott? No. Jeff? Yeah.
Pete? Sorry, Jesus.
Austin?
Only on camera.
I forgot the question.
Do you go ask
Only with
Mouse?
Trevor.
Are you for? Are you pro or against?
Yes.
Yes, and
It's with me.
Ming?
You know I do everything, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's the reason why you gotta get out of here so quickly. Anyway, next question, right over here.
Okay, for Brian, Jeff, and Marissa, how hard is it coming back?
Did you call Marilyn Marissa?
I did, I'm sorry.
Marissa Tomei's in this movie?
What?
I'm sorry, but
I'll forgive you.
how
I
did
think
it
you
feel?
were calling me Marissa.
How did it feel for all three of y'all coming back, knowing that Dante's journey was going to end?
6 people didn't see the movie. Thanks.
You spoiled the MCU crossover when the whole fucking Endgame and Clerks are at the same timeline. What the fuck, bro?
We did say spoilers.
Alright. Marilyn?
Well, for me,
Marissa.
AKA Marissa?
For me, it was just the fact of being asked back that I was grateful to be back. I know, yeah, okay, so.
Did you just say ass?
But I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that I was also going to be working opposite Brian again.
I have a scene with you. Hello.
I was
Oh my
just
God.
about to say.
You are Marissa.
By the way, for those who've seen Clerks 3, there's a scene where her character comes in with a script, and she's like, no, and she throws it at Randall's character. And one of the takes,
I know. I wish they had that in the outtakes.
the first take, she had a lot of energy.
I think it was the second one.
All right. Relax there, quick. So she threw the script so hard and it hit him right in the package. Where we had to take a moment like, yo, what up, Marissa? What the fuck?
But I did not. I did not break
tacks that
character.
hold scripts together, they hurt.
I did not break character.
No?
Because I actually was not on camera at that time, and I did not want to ruin the take. Because actually, it was kind of a nice little comeback, and I wish that was the scene that they used. But I wish if they hadn't used it, that they would have put it in the like the outtakes and stuff like that, because it was just it's priceless. It really
I wish
was
they
priceless.
used it too. I can't have kids now. Should have been in the movie.
But yeah, because in the first one we didn't really have any scenes to. Oh no, we did. I'm sorry, we did have scenes together. I'm sorry.
Marissa, do you not know who I am? We've worked together.
No, but it was nice to be back. It was nice to be back and actually get to play again.
Scott? Wake up, Scott!
Scott.
They're asking, how was it to come back to the movie? Where am I?
Hold on, let me put my hands up your shirt.
It was a kick, and when I saw the gag he had for the gum guy, it's like the ultimate character actor thing to make fun of method acting, so I was totally down and excited. And speaking of what happens, I wasn't told. I only got like one page, so when I went to the costume fitting, they told me you're going to need an additional outfit for a certain
another
additional
scene.
scene. And when I found out what it was, I was like, what?
Yeah?
That's all I can say, I guess, without killing it. For how many people had seen it?
Yeah, about 10, 12
Four?
people. Don't
Okay.
spoil it. And plus, I have sales to make, so shut up. I'll be stepping out of my business, bro. Well, there you go.
The guy talks and he ruins your whole business.
Yeah. For us, it was kind of like a time machine, me and Jeff. It was, if you had told us, hey, 29 years from now, back in 93, like, you'll be back here saying the same bullshit again. And I'd be like, I never progressed as an actor, kill me now. But the laughs on that, on the audience, because we got to sell you the same movie twice. We just turned the camera on the behind-the-scenes shit. So, there you go.
All right, this one's for Jeff, I guess.
Dude, you are so...
I'll take it. I was just gonna say, despite you being an asshole in the movie, how do you feel being the hot one, even though Brian gets all the chance?
He's gonna jerk off. I'm gonna jerk off too. I don't think he's gonna jerk off.
You know what's really funny is she was able to insult both of us at the same time. This one is for Jeff, I guess, insults. And then besides being the hot one, like the insult to me.
Relax, Dan T.
Yeah, exactly.
This one's for Brian and Jeff. So you guys' characters are really relatable, I feel like, to a lot of average people, like in the world. And I really enjoyed that about the movie. It was very simplistic. Was it easy for you guys to kind of transition from just being yourselves in the movie, or did you kind of have to go to a different place?
Wow. He thinks we're actors.
He thinks you're average. I had to go to a different place.
By that he means he had to fly from California to New Jersey. That's the amount of different place when you talk to him. As far as like the first movie, we were all just praying to God we just get the words out that he wrote. And we just took this kind of character. I mean, Jeff in general is a really nice, easygoing kind of guy. I'm more the sarcastic with you type of guy. You haven't figured that out yet. And so to play these kind of characters, it was kind of fun. Jeff had, before Clerks, had never really acted before. Me and Marilyn had done community theater before. Scott had been regularly auditioning for films and plays and TV in New York and New Jersey as well. So to go to a place, so to speak, I mean, this isn't Shakespeare or Howard's End or something like that. It was just two dudes working in a video store, in a convenience store in Jersey. Literally 2/3 of you could have done this movie. And 1/3 of you actually do that as a job. So you have no idea how many people come up like, yo, I work at a convenience store, this totally spoke to me. I'm like, oh, so this is a documentary to you. or the HR video they show you at work of what not to do. So there's no place for me. I don't know about you. What about you?
I've been in 3 movies and I still haven't acted yet.
So there you go. Thank you. Are you looking into doing acting yourself? Yeah. Because you're studying the wrong films.
Way to inspire the young man.
Well, dude, I'm trying to save him heartache and heartbreak.
Your question.
Well, not heartache or heartbreak, but Clerks 2 was responsible for me meeting my husband in 2006.
Oh,
Muzzle tough.
So it's your fault, my
Did you say Clerks 2 is where you guys met?
Yeah.
You both love donkey shit.
I was going to say.
I miss my mom.
Look at my husband behind you.
So my question actually, Clerks 3, it made me laugh, it made me cry a lot.
Right on.
Pussy.
I know.
Shut up,
You
Pillow
have no idea, Pillow. But actually, my question is for Trevor. The ongoing gag that Elias had throughout Clerks 3 of the increasingly bizarre and hilarious, and I think you were
that's a weird way to say beautiful costumes.
beautiful, like Mardi Gras on acid, fantastic. I live in New Orleans, everything looks like Mardi Gras to me. I loved it. Can you talk about whose idea was that? How did that develop?
Yes, that was the most fun thing for me. It was so great. I got on a call with Allie, who's our wardrobe, the lead wardrobe artist. She got me on a Zoom when we were still in pre-production. And we hit it off right away. We were just joking around, and she just had me laughing. Like, I remember at one point she said, "How do you feel about capes?"
Hold on. You got to set it up right, in a sense. All the script said from Kevin was, Elias goes, his idea of turning away from the Lord was he now wears a heavy metal t-shirt. That's all it said.
Yeah.
That's all it was for the description of how he went goth.
There was one more.
The rest is all him.
There was one more description where in the next scene it said Elias appears even more goth. So there was the suggestion of it getting worse. And we just kind of were like rolling with it. And then as we were doing the fittings and we were still probably like a couple of weeks away from shooting, Kevin just kept telling us to go bigger and bigger. We kept going bigger, and then it got to the point where we were like one day away from shooting, and it was like, we're not going to be able to pull this back. We don't have time to get new costumes together and shoot. We were like, let's just swing for the fences. And yeah, what the best part I think is like, because it wasn't just wardrobe, it was hair and makeup too. The best part was like, probably 50% of the costumes, maybe more, maybe like 75%, were done while we were shooting. Like we were just cobbling the shit together, like while it was happening.
As we waited 30 to 4 minutes. Where is Trevor?
I had an idea what I thought.
My favorite
They were like, oh, they still have 20 feathers to apply. What?
My favorite is there's the circus where, there's base camp where you get the hair and makeup, and then over here, like, there's where we're actually shooting. No, it is called the circus.
Yeah, some shows called the circus.
Yeah, okay.
It was a circus.
Anyway, there's base camp where like you get the hair and makeup, and then there's the set. So these people don't see each other throughout the day that much because they're just kind of far away. And so the point is that I would get in my outfit, and then I'd come up to the set. There's a bunch of people who are working out there who like not seeing it, don't know what to expect. And I would get 2 looks, mostly from men, that made like every day just so worth it. And the first look was this. And the second look is this.
Towards the end of the shoot, when we were waiting for a different kind of, because there's also makeup that's involved, very beautifully done. I remember at one time we're waiting, I'm like, what are we waiting for? Oh, waiting for Trevor. I'm like, for f***'s sake, when is Lady Gaga fucking showing up? So here was the thing, as you talked about the pre-planning of what are we going to do with looks, the
Next thing you know, when they changed a few of the aspects of Blockchain's character, then all of a sudden the realization went, oh, what we should do is everything that Trevor does, Blockchain should have some sort of version of it. So literally the hair and makeup people like were tearing their hair out, like, especially the costumes, like, I gotta double this?
Yeah. We really put them through their
But it's,
paces.
in the end, as you can see, it pays off. And I feel bad because some of the scenes of him, especially when you're doing the montage of different shooting out, scenes that we did, you may see these guys in these costumes that took 3 hours to get together for like 10, 15 seconds. Some are even like 4 seconds of just like, oh, there it was. But thank you. Yeah, we loved our team that we had for hair and makeup costume. They were unbelievable. We actually became friends where we correspond outside of this, and it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Funko makes like variants of each one of your costumes. Chase figures.
It has 40 of them.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I imagine this applies mostly to the first movie, but how closed was the set? Like, did y'all have random like interlopers or like people like coming on set thinking it was like an actual open store? Or like, it's like when you're trying to film something like DIY or like independent, like you'll just have random people in your shot. I was wondering, like, did y'all have any funny experiences of people just literally walking on set, not knowing that something was being shot? Like,
I'm so sorry. You said interloper, and everything after that, I'm like, she said interloper. You're a college girl, aren't you? I'm just saying, because here I am down here, and I'm like, you said interloper.
When we shot Clerks 2, the store remained open. Because you've seen the store, people must go in there. Literally, the store stayed open and people would come in between takes and buy stuff. This time around, I remember Kevin was very excited. He was like, oh my God, they're closing the store for this. We were all like, wow, cool. This is a true story. The store made them build another store behind the store so we could film.
So, what would normally be a covered loading dock for the store, they framed in and made a mini quick stop, which had, the one thing that was the big thing that the owner had an issue was, like, the lottery people don't like us not selling lottery tickets. So they had to rewire the lottery machine to that mini version of the store, because we got to have the whole store for the entire 2 weeks that we were shooting in the store. But the mini store was hilarious. So you can get lottery tickets, cigarettes, of course. They had a fridge for soft drinks and stuff like that, like milk, some basics. And then, like, they had, of course, they had rolling papers and all sorts of weed paraphernalia available as well.
Pickles in a bag.
Oh my God, the pickles are there.
Filming in the
Must be a Jersey
real
thing.
store and people were shopping in the big store.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. But you're getting it. But what was weird is we were shooting during a heavy controlled COVID. Like, we were tested every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then the weekends we had off. We're like, please don't interact with the public. So we would have people camped out at the corner of the block going, sign our stuff. And we couldn't because they're like, please don't touch the humans kind of thing. You know what I mean? Thank God we all got away with not catching COVID, because you would be off set for 10 days. At that time, the protocol was 10 days off. But literally, every Monday is when we'd all be sweating. Because we would all go out to dinner, do comedy shows, things like that, and interact, even though we weren't supposed to. But thankfully, we all got away with it.
Do you know how scared I was?
Right?
Of that? No,
well, the meeting made
just,
it sound like he was like, you're going to be fired.
No, but just being the boyfriend of his daughter, and then I quit, it shut down. Okay,
We get it.
people didn't know in the beginning, but like, if I got his movie shut down, the guy who doesn't speak,
right?
That'd be so.
I'm sure he would prefer you getting COVID than an STD, so.
Well, Trevor, just so you know, we had what was his, Taylor Lautner on speed dial, just in case. To step in. Well, the true story, when we did Mallrats, Seth Green was the studio's safety if Jay couldn't pull off being in a real movie, because they had heard how nervous he was while making the original Clerks. So here was this multi-million-dollar movie being produced
How about a weird alternate universe?
And they look right. You'd be up here with Seth Green going, Snoochie, Boochie, bitches. And just people would be like, me. This is worse than that Brandon Ralph Superman. Jokes, people. Like, you don't accept him as Superman. You know you don't. He's not here, don't worry.
He might be here. It's
One of
okay.
these like he just runs out crying.
You said you loved me in that Christmas Kittens movie. True story, I did. Right over here, my man.
Seth Green is dope, though, by the way.
Seth Green is dope. I didn't say he couldn't pull off Jay. He just wouldn't.
I
He
think it's a
would
real
be
piece
Jay.
of shit.
Jay, by the way, sends his regards. Unfortunately, his stupid wife had to have a baby.
I love that his wife was pregnant and she was having a baby and she's like, Jay, you can't do any more cons. I need you here. I'm like, what the f is he gonna do?
No.
You'd be better off sending him to cons.
Have you tasted his breast
baby
milk?
saver
Yo,
would
man.
get out of the station.
Jamie's breast milk is amazing. You know why? Because it's filled with Red Bull.
Okay, all right. There's still a lot of Red Bull. So, my question is, during the Clerks 1, 2, and 3, where do you see the franchise of Clerks going in the next 10 years?
I mean, personally, I think Kevin's been following the classic storyline and franchise of Grumpy Old Men. So I think the last installment of Grumpy Old Men was Grumpy Old Men in Space, was it? Grumpy Old Men get a lobotomy? I don't know.
That's a low-key good idea, like Clerks, but it's in space, at a space station, and they interact with aliens and like different creatures. That's
To be honest with you, there was, back in the day, in the late 90s, some animator did Trooper Clerks, you can look it up online, where it was two stormtroopers who ran the convenience store on a Death Star. And they would just be in their stormtrooper fucking outfits, just talking random Empire bullshit. And it was hilarious.
That'd be a sick
I have a
adult swim show.
I have a question about that. If the Clerks in our universe talk about Star Wars all day, do you think the Stormtrooper Clerks are like geeks about Kevin Smith movies?
You know what? I like it. But what planet would a Kevin Smith in that world be? Would it be Tatooine? Would it be Naboo? Would it be, ooh, these clerky people are terrible. We so hate it. I'm odd best, I apologize.
That was good. That was good.
Meta.
So meta.
Yeah.
Kevin would come in his jorts. Your father-in-law future, by the way. Right over here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this one's for Jeff and Trevor. First of all, Clerks 2 is one of my favorite movies. And the best theme from that movie is the Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. Yes. Especially that scene where you walk through it, where I've read all of the Lord of the Rings books, and you did that like about 10-second synopsis of it, and I was like, my God. So I guess what my question is, what is both of your beliefs on that, Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings?
Okay, I'll take this one. Because I've learned my lesson. Somebody at another con once asked, like, are you Lord of the Rings or Star Wars? And I was like, I don't know, I like them both. And they went, boom! And then I went, Lord of the Rings, and they went, boom! And then I went, Star Wars, and they went, yeah! So I get out, Star Wars is so much better. That's such a good scene because Star Wars is better than Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
I'm not going to weigh in on that, but I'll tell a little story. Last year was the first year I started doing cons. And we went to a con, and the Hobbits were there. That's the only reason I went. And this guy came up to me, he said, you know, I have a VIP pass. I'm going in to take a picture with the whole cast, and I'm allowed to bring somebody. Will you come with me? I'm like, absolutely. So we went in there, we held up a sign, even the trees walked in those movies. They had to take a picture with us. It was awesome.
By the way, those guys are really fun to be with. The Hobbits are hilarious. A lot
They've
of
got a
shit.
good sense of humor.
Yeah, they got a really great sense of humor. We were at a con, Trevor, myself, and Jeff, and we were able to take a photo where someone, our great team, our agents team, went to the commissary, and they weren't even selling onion rings, but they got them to fry one onion ring to then have Trevor hold in the photo op with the Hobbits all like, oh. And just me and Jeff on the other side, just like, it's something I would treasure forever. And then from that point on, every time we would see like Moynihan, or we'd see Billy Boyd or any of those guys, they were really geeked to see that we were on the same, list of guesses then, because they would all be like, oh my God, we're going to do something else. And we'd be like, yeah, let's do more, whatever you want to do. It was a lot of fun, and I give those guys a lot of credit. They were a lot of fun.
Then they made me dress up like Arwen.
I think though they stopped coming to cons when we started hobbit tossing.
Back to the show, you fuck! Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, this question is for Trevor. So in Clerks 2...
Anybody notice I'm on fire tonight? It's my third question.
Keep it going.
Okay, so in Clerks 2, Elias established that he was absolutely stoked for the upcoming live-action Transformers movie.
Correct.
Which, as we all know, spawned 4 god-awful, shitty sequels that completely disrespected the whole franchise. My question is...
Also correct.
Yes, absolutely. My question is...
Not debatable.
Thank you. My question for Trevor is, because Elias rationalized that Transformers are a different god, did the...
It's proof that God hates us, yes.
my question is, did the critical failure of the sequels have any sort of contribution to Elias's descent to Satanism?
Ooh. That's a fascinating question. I'm going to say yes, fucking sure. Yeah. Elias lost his faith in God because Transformers is bad.
Now hearing this question, I was just, thank God he said Trevor answers this question, because I've never seen any of those Transformers movies.
I haven't either, I just know one of them is called Dark of the Moon.
I think it's Dark Side of the Moon.
It's Dark of the Moon, right?
The only 2 existing Transformers movies that are worth seeing are the 1986 G1 animated movie and Bumblebee, and hopefully Rise of the Beast. I'm so psyched for that.
Hey, is it true? I think this is true, but it's the cartoon one is like the last thing Orson Welles ever did?
Yes, he was viewed across the planet-eating monster.
Yeah.
Maybe you two want to talk outside.
Hey, and just a side...
Bumblebee, sick.
And just a side note, he obviously is into ass to mouth, so you're golden, Carl. Thanks for the question.
I wanted to say something to Marilyn.
Into the microphone, honey. We all want to hear it.
You mean Marissa?
There you go.
Marissa, Marilyn.
I can hear you, they're just very old.
We've established that there, buddy.
I know you didn't write the lines, but I wanted to say that as a young woman watching Clerks in the 90s for the first time, I love that the tone that you set in terms of your independence with your sexuality and the boundaries that you set. And I think that was the very first time I, as a young person, had ever seen someone say, fuck you, you don't have any say in what I did in my past. You don't get to have it. So, yeah, I know Trevor wrote it, but you delivered it so fiercely and so memorably, and I just love that, and I wanted to say thank you for that performance.
Oh my God, no, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. I mean, credit kind of has to go to the writer, Kevin, but, you know, the fact that he gave me something so powerful to say on behalf of women, I appreciate as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then the other question I had is Dante's sweater. Can you tell us a little bit about its journey?
About its journey? Oh, okay. Well, first of all,
sweater's journey?
Yeah. Hold on a second. Someone's talking fashion. Because I was the only one.
Fashionista over
I was the only one in the original. I had one. I'm just kidding. First of all, that moment you just had, amazing. That was beautifully cast. Although every guy in this room went, well, what's her number then? Sexually independent woman? No, I'm kidding. As far as that sweater, it was given to me by an ex-girlfriend. It was a Liz Claiborne sweater. Yes, it was. And I remember him was like, oh, we're going to shoot you. I'm like, oh, all right. And then we used Hershey syrup because we were shooting in black and white. It just had to have the viscosity of blood and not actually the color of it. So they started tearing holes in this, like, sort of like, oh, it's a Liz Claiborne. So it was destroyed. We made that movie. Jump 29 years later, now we're recreating that sweater. We need to find that sweater for Clerks 3 because there are scenes we were creating, obviously. They couldn't find, I gave them the whole thing. They couldn't find one anywhere at all. So they literally had a loomist, what do you call a knitter? A woman who's like a professional knit that entire sweater from just the visuals on screen of what it was, yeah. So, and it was made of the softest fucking wool I've ever, it was just like wool from lambs of the Shire or some shit. It was so nice. So we had a fitting. They made it larger than it was like necessary. I guess the woman was just like, I'm just gonna keep on knitting.
Jesus, I thought I was a diva about my costumes.
Yeah. Well, no. So we shoot the movie. We pin it in. It's because it was a little too long. Like we shoot the movie. We wrap. And they were like, do you want anything from the movie, the costumes? And there was things I wanted, like I wanted one of the hockey jerseys, of course. I wanted one of the smocks from the movie. I wanted one of the hockey balls that we had during the game, things like that. And then the one thing I said is, I definitely want that sweater. They're like, what? I'm like, well, he fucked up the first one in '93. He owes me. It may not be Liz Claiborne, but it's whatever her name is, Susan out in Ohio, whatever it is. But I'm gonna have it because it was the softest fucking sweater I've ever had in my life. And they're like, oh, we'll work on it. Because they hold all the costumes for like 3 months during editing in case, God forbid, something fucks up and we have to do reshoots. So that they held it and it went through the whole clearance of everything. Like, is everything good? Can we give it to Ohalloran? And then they finally got it, and I was just like, oh. And so
Brian loves sweaters. He's bringing them back.
I do. Bring them back. Look out. Next thing you know, Kevin's been bringing the jorts back. Next thing you know, it's going to be the Benetton colors. But yeah, that was, thanks for asking that sweater. It's in my office at home, and it's one of the softest things I've ever, like if I could sleep on one sweater, it'd be that one. Anybody who has that itchy sweater, you know.
On a sweater?
In like one?
Yeah, it's awesome. Right on.
Oh, thank you. Wow, the story of Brian O'Halloran's sweater. Exclusive.
Well, I'm not going to throw a spoiler, but when you think of the movie and what Dante wears and what happens in the third movie, you go, wait a minute, that's a significant sweater. And you'll know if you saw the movie what the significance was. Yeah.
That is cool.
Kevin always talks on his podcast about the crazy stuff he does on the CW shows. Is he like that when he does his films, or is
I don't listen to the Kevin Smith podcast, so what does he do? Does he take shits and runs away like a random
Kevin has a podcast?
He tells stories?
Yeah. He goes to these like hamburgers and she like goes in the middle of the night and gets when they're filming and stuff, just of course he's pretty straight-laced in the movies.
Straight-laced Kevin? Straight-laced Kevin? Come on, you're supposed to laugh, fucker. He's super laid back all the time. First of all, he's stoned. He takes herbal supplements, as I like to say, all the time. The guy smokes more. Like Snoop Dogg goes to him like, whoa. you need to chillax. You're using up all my fucking weed in California, bro. So he's laid back all the time, and we've known him since '93. Jeff's known him since high school, and not even longer. So he knows him even longer than all of us. But he's always been chill. He's always running a very funny and chill. Scott, what do you think? Like really fun to work with kind of thing? I'm just pulling you into Jeff. Is that a word?
Collaborative creativity. In that first movie, he really clung to the script, and
he was a Nazi then.
In fact,
script Nazi. He wasn't burning people. I just realized I'm in like the Alabama. They're like, really? I love this movie. No, I'm just kidding. I need to relook at that movie. I'm totally kidding.
Yoga hosers reference.
Yeah, but he was very like he would give line readings, which to an actor, we'd be like, what? Like, you don't tell, I want you to say it like this. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes there, Scorsese. This ain't, I not say words, like, you're not saying them my way. Like that whole scene in Clerks 3 where he goes, you forgot the and, that really happened. But we had already done takes and he was not going to spend the money to do another taping it because it was a real film, it wasn't digital. And so it slipped him, it went by him, he didn't realize until he was in the editing process.
But it really irked him.
It did irk him. Because 30 years later he puts it in the script. And he's like, and so I want to talk to Jeff and Brian when I see, you know what I mean, Brian? Yes, fucker, I got it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But there you go, but otherwise it's fun, a lot of fun, chill. Thank you for coming.
Bye, have a good night.
I would say that though, just because doing
they were like, they brought up Nazis, we're out.
They're like, we're Nazis, we better go.
They're on to us.
They got really excited for
Hans, Jules, we must go. We must go to the Wiener Schnitzel house. Let's go.
just like living with him and doing Sun in Lockdown, like he was very chill with that, but I mean, I feel like on the set of Clerks 3, he turned into like motherfucking Tony Robbins, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like he would just give out motivational speeches. Like he said he loved me in a speech to like all these people. I'm like, wait, what?
You cursed me out on the daily.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like he really came alive in a way that I have never seen.
Did you not realize a lot of weed?
No, but the thing is, I don't even know if he was like really that stoned while he was filming it.
No, he wasn't. He's very into the movie. But there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone. Right.
So I've got a question for Jeff and Brian. You guys did an animated series. How did it feel to voice act Dante and Randall?
Fantastic.
It was the most fun, literally the most fun on any of the Kevin Smith projects. No offense to people on the dais.
Yeah, what the I did an entire episode in my underwear. And I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was fantastic.
It was as a kid growing up, sitting on Saturday mornings watching cartoons and idolizing people like Mel Blanc and you know, watching it in Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and all those type of movies, to be able to voice over cartoons, just like, oh my God, it's gonna be the best thing ever. Plus, at the time, there wasn't much out there in the mainstream media for cartoons. There was The Simpsons, and then there was like, South Park, and then Dilbert on the UPN network. So we were like, we're gonna crush this. We're on ABC, a real network, which is owned by Disney, a real animated studio. And then after we recorded the 6 episodes, which we had some really great guest star voice actors on, we thought for sure we're a fucking shoo-in. And then before it even got released, it was canceled. And then they were like technically contractually obligated to air at least 2 of them. And then they aired 2 of them where they aired them out of order, where it was number 2 and then number 1. And in number 2, we referenced number 1. So as the first one, it was like, what is this all about? So then they finally put it on DVD and stuff. Now Kevin Can has the rights to make another animated Clerks. That would be amazing. We just can't do it exactly like they did it, like the certain characters and certain anime style that they had for that, because that's owned by Disney. And the only outlet that we would ever have to do it would be Hulu, because they would never put us on actual Disney Plus or something. But Kevin reached out to him like a year ago after Justin Roiland came out with Solar Opposites. He's like, oh, they'll fucking do shit like that. Let's do Clerks 2. You own the property, you own the artwork, all the pre-work is done. We literally hand the boys these scripts and we're rolling in next week. So his agent called him and he was like, hey, since we're talking about such and such, do you want to do the Clerks? And they were like, nah, we could. So, but Kevin can do another style of art and other characters and take it somewhere else. It's up to him in that sense. But we'll see. But that was definitely the most fun me and Jeff ever did. I mean, there would be times where we would do like Clerks 2 or the other Clerks stuff. And one of the direction notes that Kevin would say, like if we were kind of low energy, like, we need more like cartoon Randall in this scene. And we both like, oh, okay, then now I know what we're talking about. Because animation, you have to be more animated about things. Like, Randall! You know, while if I was like that on screen, like, is he having a stroke? What's up with him? Did he get into Ben Affleck's cocaine? What the Affleck of the 90s, relax.
Now
not low energy at the Grammys, fucking Affleck. But there you go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, let's bring it back. CJ Cullen, you have the last question.
Hey. All right.
CJ, as seen in Clerks 3, CJ Cullen, your question.
So, after you did Clerks, a couple of years later, before even Clerks 2 came about, Kevin came up to you and said, you're going to do a short film called The Flying Car. How did that go?
The Flying Car was fun. It was the first time, like you said, after Clerks that Brian and I got together again. And, wait, did we do the cartoon before?
I think the cartoon was.
Yeah, we did the cartoon. So we did the cartoon and then we did the
But
Flying Car.
on camera now, yeah. On camera, the first time Dante Crunch filming.
Yes. So when we did the Flying Car, it was fun because we shot, you shoot pieces obviously, and they shot me first, I kind of had a big long speech in that, and I did that, and then when they put the camera on Brian, I was just started around with Brian, so I started doing it like really over the top, like cartoon Randall. And Kevin was like, Brian, stop! And they put the camera back on me, and he was like, I want you to do it like that. So that's like cartoon Randall came to life.
Yeah, it's a part of the Clerks 10-year anniversary Clerks X edition of Clerks. I think it might even be on YouTube. Someone has ported it to the YouTube. If you ever want, it's a short film. We're stuck, Dante and Randall are stuck in a car in traffic on the Garden State Parkway. And Randall proposes, what would you do? I wish we had a flying car to fly over the traffic. And then he proposes the question, what would you do to Dante? What would you do? What would you sacrifice to get the flying car? And he gets a little crazy. Speaking about Nazis, they're referenced in it, so there you go. Good segue, right? So yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was funny because literally it was like a random Sunday or Saturday we shot in the parking lot of a church. Funny enough, we once again doing that. And we had all the crew people park their cars in a row as if we were on the Garden State Parkway. And it worked out great. And it was supposed to be, originally it was supposed to be an inspirational speech to be shown at the Ford Motor Company's engineering's yearly, like, let's do some creative engineering kind of symposium, right? And it was going to be a film shown to like hundreds of these fucking employees for Ford Motor Company. So Kevin just submitted the script to them about what they want. And like I said, once again, Nazis are brought up, and hacking someone's foot is in it, someone diddling someone's peenie, and the Ford Motor Company went, what the So they passed. But Kevin was like, I put so much work into this. I actually referenced Nazis. You know how tough that is today? And so he said, I'm going to do it anyway. He was doing at the time different appearances on Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And Jay would have Kevin come on and Kevin would do some sort of funny segment like once a week or once every 2 weeks. So he made this short film and approached Jay Leno and said, do you mind if we show the short? And Jay said, sure, what do you mean? I can't put that thing, Kevin, that's fine. Next thing you know, this is before he lit his face on fire. And so he put out, hey, relax, he's making funs about his crispy skin as well. And then he showed it on, so technically we were on the Tonight Show. That's cool. Yeah. Awesome. There you go.
I can give the wrap-up signal.
I have just one final question.
Okay.
If it's all right. Austin,
That's not how this works.
Austin, are you dating one of these days, or? Wait, really?
Wow, that's going to be news to Harley.
Austin will not be in Clerks 4. Newsflash.
It's showtime, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Ohalloran, everybody, Jeff Anderson, Austin Zajur, Trevor, Ghigliotti, the star of the Clerks, first two, first eight. Can we do the group shot? Can we do the group shot? Group shot? All right, we're going to do the group shot.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Are we leaving?